Now, there has been lots of layoffs in the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and folks, this is a serious concern because even if you don't get your weather, even if you get it from multiple sources, us, different TV stations, radio stations, AccuWeather, WeatherBug, this impacts the entire weather enterprise. The best way to think about it is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is like a large umbrella with multiple organizations underneath NOAA, all working together to keep the nation weather ready. Did you get any notification of the tornado warning?
I got our phones sounded off and said, you know, get to the basement. And I looked out the window, porch window, and everything was flying, and I turned around and he was starting ahead of me into the kitchen to get somewhere smaller.
That's a prime example of one of the survivors of the Heiko tornado that got the notification on her phone. Under the NOAA umbrella with the National Weather Service, those warnings would not be issued and the public safety would be at risk. Now, what else does NOAA govern?
Are there any plans to get cell phones more involved because towers go down so often and sometimes it's just not reliable?
That's where you need to have redundancy in those weather radios. A lot of people maybe don't know about them or don't realize that sometimes they can fill in those gaps. We had a flood in Kanawha County back last year, and a lot of the folks that we talked to there didn't get the alert, didn't get the warning on their cell phone because they don't have cell signal there. But we did some work, and weather radios would have filled that gap in. They would have got those warnings ahead of time if they'd had weather radios.
So there you go. Heiko tornado survivor got the notification on her cell phone. Cell phone right there. NOAA weather radio would have helped those folks in Kanawha County with the flash flooding a couple of years ago. That's another aspect of NOAA. With NOAA weather radio, there would be no way to receive notifications via NOAA weather radio because it would not exist. What else does NOAA and the National Weather Service help to operate? The most critical components to short-term forecasting is radar simulation analysis. This radar in Charleston is the only one in the state, and as Dave Cunningham mentions, upkeep on it is a constant battle. How frequently do you have to come to the site to maintain the radar?
That's situational. We try to get here quite often. Every time there's an event, wind event also, we come up here and check out, make sure everything's fine. But there's monthly checks we do, there's some daily checks. It actually does its own 8-hour check. And so there's building diagnostics as well.
So under the NOAA weather radio with the National Weather Service, what they do is they help to keep the observations, the radars in check. If that radar goes down, we need folks there to be able to fix it and repair it. Otherwise, we can't see anything that's coming in our direction. And the weather itself can trigger these folks to have to go out and manage these and fix these weather stations and weather radars, as Dave mentions right now.
Day to day, we never know what we're going to face when we come into the office because, for instance, we have a piece of equipment that took a lightning strike the other day, and now we have to address that issue. And lightning likes our equipment because it's out on the airfield by itself, measuring the weather, and so it tends to happen to where it takes lightning strikes.
There you go. We're coming up on the severe weather season. Lots of lightning in play. We need these folks to be here so we have the data to be able to forecast what the weather is going to be like. Now, we've covered the TV. Obviously, we're on television here at WOAY, the cell phones, the radio, the internet. But folks, check it out, is the cell phones. Most of you probably access information on your cell phone. Without NOAA and the National Weather Service, this entire page would be completely blank. You would have absolutely no idea what to expect in the next hour and in the next coming days. Now, besides the phone, there's other ways in which we would not get information. Check it out on the weather graphics right now. So we are watching a storm system off to our west right now, and we see the satellite and we see the radar data. But what happens if we lose NOAA and the National Weather Service? we would lose the radar, and we would also lose the satellite. So this is what we would have, a blank screen. All right, folks, here's a way that you can get in contact with your local officials about the NOAA and National Weather Service layoffs. You can see the website here. It's also at the bottom of your screen. You just indicate where you are, and that indicates who to contact if you want to preserve the weather enterprise so that we can relay information to you in a timely manner, and not just us, but the National Weather Service as well. We'll continue to follow this story, but for right now, this is Chief Meteorologist Chad Merrill for Newswatch.